Hello everyone and welcome back to another deck update. This is for my Live Twins Fiendsmith build that I did a while back, and this one's going to be an update for specifically Master Duel. The biggest difference between that guide and this one is the fact that Lacrima exists, and because Lacrima is legal in Master Duel, and actually TCG as well now, it wasn't when I did that original guide, I don't think we need the Mutiny in the Sky package, which frees us up to play some more one-card starters, as well as a little bit more engine. We are playing with 13 one-card starters for the full combo now. I'm maxed out on the Kill Frost, and I'm playing a couple of secret passwords, which I wasn't in the previous build. And then we also just have 17 pieces of non-engine instead of 16. Those are a little bit different. I'm playing a Crossout just because we don't want to get Max Seed in this deck, or Fuolost if we can help it. So Crossout, Called By, and 3 Ash Blossoms can help with that quite a bit. Thankfully, Max Seed's down to 1, which makes this deck better because we do cycle through the extra deck like nobody's business. It's still a threat, so we still want to play as many outs as possible. We're also playing the because we freed up some extra deck space with the Mutiny in the Sky package. I'm playing Djinn Buster in this one, and you'll see in the combo that we can use Djinn Buster to protect our combo early in the combo, and then just link it off as a body later to still achieve full combo. It's a little bit weird how that works out, but it does work out, and it's pretty good. It's not a bad thing to do. And I'm also trying out Fancy Ball. So this is a deck where you don't even need IP necessarily to go into it, because we have Unchained Soul of Rage and we set that up for the opponent's turn, and then you can use Unchained Soul of Rage plus an opponent's monster, go into Fancy Ball. I haven't... Here's the thing. This extra deck's really tight. It was really tight before, and it's still quite tight. You could probably play like an Underworld Goddess instead of SP if you wanted to abuse the second effect to link summon again. I don't think there's a single other card you could take out of this extra deck and the deck would still function. So you would have to be replacing SP, and I think SP is useful in more situations as a double disruption than linking off a Link 1 into something else. So I don't think it's correct to do that, but you could if you wanted to go all in on the Fancy Ball thing. But yeah, before we get into the combos, in case you didn't watch the original video, here is the conceit of the deck. Any Kill name can link one off into Kill Deal, which sends extension from deck to graveyard in the form of Lila Sweet, and then that can, because she is a Light Fiend, can link off into Fiendsmith's Requiem. So any one normal summoned body that isn't immediately checked by an opponent's destruction effect can then go through 2 forms of extension and get us access to 2 different engines. And so the value just kind of multiplies like crazy, and it's really tough to stop us once that happens. And so, you know, I've been enjoying this deck quite a bit. It took a long time to get to Master Duel for no good reason, but now that it's here, I'm going to abuse it. Outside of that, the only thing I'll mention is I only have one engraver because this is the only deck I ever play Fiendsmith in. So if you have a second engraver, play that probably over the second copy of Lila. No, play it over Secret Password. Secret Password is the worst starter because it gets you drolled before actually getting you where you need to go. So Secret Password adds a Live Twin spell trap, so you are adding Sunny Snitch, and then you can get drolled before you can actually activate the Sunny Snitch to go get the actual body you need, whereas Sunny's, you activate this right off the bat, you grab Kill, you get drolled, you can still activate the Kill and then summon the Lila from deck and then send stuff to grave, so you can extend past that point, whereas Secret Password does not extend you past that point. So that's why this is my least favorite of the starters. It's definitely the weakest one, but you could take one out for the extra engraver. That's what I would do. But with that, oh, and last thing I wanted to mention, this deck is pretty much entirely legal in the Dice Rally event going on right now, with the exception of Caesar and Djinn Buster, so that's when you would start playing things like Underworld Goddess to use Fancy Ball, because you'll have extra bodies there. But in general, it is almost completely legal for that event, and that's what I've been playing in it for sure. But with that, let's go see I think just one combo for this one? Probably just one combo for this one. Okay, I lied. We're not actually doing a combo video this time, and that's because our very first game, up against Memento going first here, is such a perfect example of our one-card combo anyways. So you can see we've got 3 pieces of non-engine and just a Sunny Snitch and a secret password. We're going to fire password first just to bait out an Ash because we have to resolve the Sunny Snitch or we don't do anything. Thankfully, they don't have anything, so you get to see combo here. So we're going to go password to grab a Snitch. Cool, they don't have Droll, they don't have Ash. So we're going to use Snitch to go grab our Kill. We can normal summon the Kill, activate her effect to go get the Lilla Treat, which is just an extra but weak disruption. And then we can link off Kill into Kill Deal. Foolish is a card as cost that can then come back. And hey look, because uninterrupted we have 2 of our Lilla bodies, we can overlay those 2 early in the combo for a Djinn Buster to protect us from anything going forward. Then we can link off the Kill Deal into our Fiendsmith's Requiem. I'm going to double the speed here. And then we contribute Requiem to go get Lacrima. Lacrima bins Engraver. Engraver brings itself back from the grave by putting Requiem back, and then we link both into Sequence. Use Sequence to shuffle a couple of cards back in to summon out Fiendsmith's Lacrima to bring back Engraver. Note here that if you are going down the Djinn Buster line, you get protection, but you give up Caesar. That's 2 disruptions to give up. It's kind of rough, but that's how it ends up happening here. So we're going to get our entire end board outside of Caesar here. Keep that in mind. We have to link off a couple to go into Unchained Soul of Yama to get Sharvara. Then we can link off the other 2 to go into Unchained Soul of Rage, pop that with the Sharvara, which is going to trigger a whole bunch of effects. Yama's going to summon back a card, and then we're going to get Engraver back to hand because we haven't used Engraver's effect in hand to go get Tracked yet. So we get Sequence back because it's a link 2. We grab Tracked, we activate Tracked, grab Lurie, pitch Lurie. Lurie comes back, and then we've got 4 link worth of materials on board here. So we can link everybody off into a Bawaku, and then a Bawaku can discard... Oh, right, Sharvara gets us the Unchained Soul of Rage. So, notably, here we use the Bawaku discarding a card to get back Kill, and then at this point, our end board is almost entirely set up through any more disruption the opponent might have, because we have a Bawaku that's going to come back, we have Abominable Chamber of the Unchained, which is going to bring back our Rage. Rage links off one of their monsters into, most of the time, SP Little Knight. Most of the time, I've been using Fancy Ball some nowadays, and pros and cons, but we've got most of our end board is the point. So at this point, we can link off the Djinn Buster, whether it's been used or not, to get in just like that one extra piece of interaction. So we're going to go into Evil Twin Kill, bring back a Lilla, then link those off for Evil Twin Lilla. Evil Twin Lilla brings back Live Twin Evil Twin Kill. We get a draw. Hey, that's the best draw in the deck, always is. We go into Trouble Sunny, and then we pass the turn. The Bawaku comes back, and we've got everything set up. Again, we lose the Caesar, but we have everything else, and this doesn't look terribly impressive. But it will in just a moment. So they're going to start normal summoning Anguish. That's like the best thing they can do. Apparently they had Horse in hand, so they go get Sleepy. Unfortunately for them, I actually understand how Memento works, whereas a lot of people don't. So they cross out our Max C. Okay, I guess we're actually getting to play the game this time, but we do have an Ash in hand, which is pretty good, as well as our entire board set up. So they go for the horse. I ash the horse so that is no longer a threat because it is a hard once per turn, and even if they use Bone Party to get rid of it, like the ash is still going to go through. That's just the best way to deal with horse, and that is like the major choke point for the deck. But they do have a Grand Breakout, so they can go into Goblin here. But I know that Goblin is Ignition Speed, which means I can break down my Trouble Sunny here so that I can immediately pop the Goblin as soon as it hits the field, so they don't get to use that Ignition Speed effect. Cool. So we pop a card, we draw a card. You can see how our disruptions are deceptively good. Like, we have more than it looks like, and it's going to continue to look like that right now. They can summon out the Sleepy, we knew they had that. This is where we're going to pull the trigger on the Unchained Soul of Rage, because they're immediately going to try and fuse. That one's not Ignition. It happens the second Sleepy hits the field. So we're going to link off the Sleepy and pop the Anguish, which means that For this to resolve at all, both cards in their hand have to be Memento monsters, and then they just lose everything, even if so. So we link off into Fancy Ball here in case the fusion resolves, so that we can negate the effect of whatever his name is, the Creation King. But of course it doesn't resolve, they didn't have two monsters in hand, they just don't have the materials. So, very good example of what our board is doing once we've gotten it, and the one card combo, so we don't have to waste time on showing the one card combo. Cool? Cool. Okay, in the interest of full disclosure, I do want to mention I'm only like Gold 1, Plat 5, something like that on Master Duel. I don't really try to climb. I get on, farm gems, get decks, and then don't touch the game for a while. So most of the ones I did with this deck, or have been doing with this deck, have been pretty much the same. We just, like, win, because it's a good deck. This time we're up against Sidra, and they have one hand trap, but we've got a couple of annoying little bricks. The Tract is actually not too bad to have in hand, because it means that, quick aside, never Ash Evil Twin Key Skill deal. Like, this is bait. It sends the card to grave as cost, similar to Lunalight Kaleido Chick, and that's the part you really care about, so, like, never Ash that one. But we have Tract in hand, which is alright, because that means that we can search up the... I'm drawing a blank on the name of it, but the trap for Fiendsmith, and then we can pitch that off of a Bawaku as part of our end board, which turns that on too, so we get the extra send off of it, so we don't mind having Tract. But Sweet in hand kind of really sucks, because we don't have a way to discard it, like, cost effectively until we get to a Bawaku, so we just can't put up our Gin Buster with it in hand. We can get it back late in the combo, so we still get full combo, but we're just doing the whole thing wholly unprotected because of the Lilith Sweet being in hand. Kinda sucks. So here, Abaoku finally pitches it so we can bring back Kisakill, and then we can bring back the Sweet, which gives us two bodies to go into the Evil Twin Kisakill, bring back one of our Lilas, go into Lila, bring back Kisakill, go into full end board, and then we can just pitch Engraver here to go get, what's it called? Fiendsmith in Paradise, that's the name of it. And we aren't going to set it because we don't summon Desiree here, and we don't want to use the Fiendsmith in Paradise. We want to pitch it, so we can do that. They start with a Fua that I presume they ripped off of the top, because otherwise they would have used it. We start with the Max C that we drew at the end of our combo. That's one of the really nice things about this deck, is that you filter like crazy and then just start doing free card draw. So you just draw a bunch of hand traps to go along with a pretty good end board in the first place. They're on Sidra, they open core, we ash that because that is the most flexible piece of engine they have. They can go get whatever they don't already have. But because they have used a bunch of non-engine already, they don't have a ton of cards in hand. They go into Mega Fleet, presumably like way too early to get rid of Trouble Sunny. We use the Abaoku to bring back Trouble Sunny anyways in case they try any shenanigans in battle phase, because Abaoku is main phase only, Unchained Soul is main phase only, but the Evil Twins are at any point, so they just go to end phase, we do the Evil Twins thing anyways, we go to pop their Mega Fleet and draw an extra card, and they're pretty screwed at this point. This was basically how every one of my games went, so I don't have any particularly good ones to show you, and again, I haven't had a whole lot of time this week. So let's go close this one out. I mean, there's not much to say for closing thoughts. It's a good deck, people know it's a good deck, and now it's finally playable fully on Master Duel. The one thing I do want to mention is the Gin Buster thing. That's take it or leave it. That's entirely dependent on if you want the protection over the stronger end board. I'm kind of a high roller. I've been trying this out, but I might take out the Gin Buster in favor of just having more extension. But the problem with this deck in particular is that we don't extend super well if we get interrupted. Like, if we start with Lila and that gets stopped, then we have Kisakill Frost, or we can go get a Kisakill Frost off of Snitch or Password. And then we've got Engraver and Tract, which can kind of extend, but a lot of our pieces that we need to go through don't give us extra value in hand, like Sharvara. you still have to just do the full combo anyways, because Sharfire doesn't do anything unless you get to Rage, and you have to go through Yama to get to Rage. So the combo doesn't change at all, it's just a pure brick. Same thing with like Lacrima. We've got so many normal summons off the Live Twin stuff, we don't really want to just normal summon Lacrima unless it's a last-ditch choice. So we don't extend super well, which is why I think people like the Djinn Buster stuff. And it's fine, and you can see obviously the end board is still quite good even if you choose to do that. But Caesar's also just a fun guy, you know? So, take it or leave it. Make your own choices. Live your own life. I don't tell you what to do. I'm not your mom. Well, that's about all we'll say. Again, play the other engraver over a secret password if you have two engravers. This is just literally the only deck I ever will play Fiendsmith in. It's the only one I like Fiendsmith in. So I only have the one. So that's going to do it for this one, guys. I hope you liked it, and I hope to see you next time. Cool. Bye-bye.